Welcome back. So in this nice short simple video we're going to go through a lot of school rules. And again, it's always nice to be able to tell your examiner a couple of the rules that you have. The rules are fairly standard and fairly basic. So again, my advice to you here is not to make a big deal out of it, but just maybe to pick maybe 5 or 6 sentences that you can actually just throw out a couple of rules if or when the examiner would ask it for you. So the first part is an bhfuil rialacha Scoil. So let's go for the first part, a lot of rules. So Scoil, and we're going to go for kind of tá. So we're going to go for tá, yes. And ar nói means indeed or obviously. We're going to say that I agree with some and not with the others, just to give it a little bit of variety here, right? So we're going to go for the aimsiú, which means I agree. Aimsiú, I agree. Le, with, cuid acu, some of them. Same structure as English. Le, cuid acu, with some of them. And ní aimsiú, I don't agree. Leis an chuid, with the others. Leis an chuid, with the others. So mar hampla, for example, tuigim an fáth nach bhfuil cead aguain guchan a úsáid. So let's go for the first part here, right? See the infinitive towards the end. Guchan a úsáid. So we have guchan and a úsáid. Go for the a úsáid part, which means to use the infinitive. And guchan is the phone. So guchan a úsáid, to use a phone. And go back now and get your starting part. Tuigim, I understand. So tuigim, I understand. An fáth, the reason or the cause. Nach bhfuil cead aguain, that we don't have permission. That we don't have permission. Guchan a úsáid, to use phone. Ach, nuair dhéanann tú mhachnamh. Now, if you feel like you can add on this little bit, definitely do. It's in kind of a couple of the essays as well. So, nuair dhéanann tú mhachnamh. When you think about it or when you reflect on it. Nuair dhéanann tú mhachnamh. Mhachnamh is like a reflection. So, nuair dhéanann tú mhachnamh, when you make a reflection on it, when you think about it, is cuid dar síl é. It's part of our life. Is cuid dar síl é. It's part of our life. The phone. And again, we've used this as well in the previous videos as well. So I'm just going to regurgitate some of the material if we haven't had the chance to, or the opportunity to use it. So éistim, I listen. Leis an nuacht, to the news. Or if you want to just stick to le ceol, to music. Or le podcast, to a podcast. Now be very careful. If you tell me éistim leis an nuacht, I listen to the news, what I'm hearing as an examiner is, Michal, ask me what's happening in the news. So if you don't want to talk about politics and what's happening in the news, then don't tell me you listen to the news. But maybe you're like, I've got a lot prepared on music. How do I get to music from here? Then tell me éistim le ceol, I listen to music. And then my next question is usually going to be about music. Or if you have a podcast that you want to talk about, you can use pod creala for a podcast. But again, if you don't want to talk about a podcast, don't tell me that you listen to podcasts on your phone. So mo guchan, on my phone, and then gach lá, every day. Is féidir aipeanna a aimsiú. Let's go for the infinitive here. Aipeanna a aimsiú. So we have aipeanna a aimsiú. A aimsiú means to find, or to locate, or to target. Any of those are perfect. So aipeanna a aimsiú, to find apps. And then the first part you have here is féidir I am able. Aipeanna a aimsiú, to find apps. Or aipeanna atá. Now, you see this word here, atá? That means which are. So atá, which are. Cabhrach, helpful. Agus méag tuairt faoin Gaelic, we came across this before, right? Agus méag tuairt faoin Gaelic is a very fancy phrase, and it means while I'm undertaking Irish. Ag tuairt faoin undertaking. So agus méag tuairt faoin Gaelic while I'm undertaking Irish, or ag tuairt faoin Frankish, undertaking French or German or Spanish or any of those at all. Let's put in a couple of mhachnamh here because we've been using the mhachnamh all the way through our sample answers. Let's go for this part here. Go measc sé. Now we know that go means that. Go measc sé. That it would be. That it would be. Go measc sé. And then the first part you have is sílim, I think. So sílim, I think. Go measc sé, that it would be. Aipeanna, which is the word for handy or useful. And now we've got an infinitive. An fón a úsáid. An phone a úsáid. Let's go for the a úsáid part first. A úsáid means to use on phone, the phone. So, to use the phone a úsáid. Mar chuid den rang as part of the, and we have class, same structure as English. Mar chuid as part. You can tell me that there's a ban on a couple of things as well. So the word for a ban in Irish is cosc. So tá cosc air, same structure as English, right? There is tá, cosc, a ban, and air means on. Tá cosc air, there is a ban on. Hubak, smoking. And again, do not pronounce that T, hubak, because that H makes the T silent. So tá cosc air hubak, there is a ban, air hubak on smoking, and then gone hours, without a doubt. And we're going to fit in a little bit of a eintim leshin. I agree. Eintim leshin. I agree with that. If you feel you can add on a little bit more, we're still talking about smoking here. Let's go for Níl ein rud níos massa ná. So Níl ein rud, there is nothing worse. Níl ein rud níos massa. Níos massa means worse. So Níl, there isn't ein rud anything níos massa worse. Exact same structure as English there for us. Remember, Irish and English are only different in 3 different ways. Dan bulla tobacco. Dan bulla tobacco, a smell of smoke. And then we're going to finish off with an héad rud mudgeon. Héad rud, an héad rud mudgeon. The first thing mudgeon in the morning. We're going to add in another mhachnamh here because why not? Now, cardach sé. So what we're going to go for is we're going to go for that kind of CK sound at the end of this here, right? So, cardach sé saunus ardum. Cardach sé saunus ardum. It would make me sick. It would make me repulsed. Cardach sé saunus ardum. Níl cead goma a thugann. So we have cead. We know cead is the word for permission. So níl cead goma a thugann. Let's go for the infinitive. Goma a thugann, which means goma a thugann. A thugann means to chew. To chew. A thugann. And gum is obviously the word for chewing gum. So goma a thugann, to chew gum. And then níl cead, we've no permission. We're not allowed. Níl cead goma a thugann. Let's go for another one. Let's go for the infinitive here. A bheith a going, which means to have. To have. So níl cead canny fuinneamh. Canny fuinneamh are energy drinks, like Monster or Red Bull. So canny fuinneamh, fuinneamh is energy. So níl cead, we've no permission to have energy drinks in class. And we can go for a bheith again. A bheith means to be. There it is. A bheith, it's my infinitive. Caithimid, we have to. Or we must. Caithimid, we have to. A bheith, to be. And then in aum. Now in English you say on time. You have to be, time is something that you stand on in English, right? So you have to be on time. In Irish, time is, we have to be in time. Which makes more sense because you have to be in tune with music and in rhythm with music and in timing with the music. But English is really weird to have you on time. But in Irish, you have to be in, you have to be in time, done class, for the class, and then igoni just means always. Now, talking about your school uniforms, we can put this in with the rules as well. We can take some of the material we have from the previous videos. We can be very, very clever here. So the first thing is tá 80 scoile going. Now, we know that means we have. Tá something a going. 80 scoile is school uniform. So tá 80 scoile a going. We have school uniform, and I'm going to add in a little bit of a kincha towards the end of it there. Kincha just means certainly or obviously. Cé go bhfuil sí grana, tuigim an fáth a bhfuil sí ann. Now I've used this structure up there a little bit, right? But bear with me here. Grana means awful, disgusting, shocking, rotten. Any of those. Grana is a lovely, lovely word to have. Now, let's get the first part here. Cé go bhfuil sí. Even though she is. Cé go bhfuil sí. Even though she is. Grana, rotten. Tuigim, I understand. And we had this up here. An fáth, the reason. A bhfuil sí ann, we have it. A bhfuil sí ann, or it is there. So tuigim an fáth bhfuil si ann. I understand an fáth the reason na bhfuil si ann, which it is there or that it is there. And why? Well, níl daoine buartha. Let's go for the word buartha first. Buartha means worried or concerned. So ní raibh daoine. People were not. Ní raibh daoine. People were not buartha, worried. Faoi aisean. Now we know faoi means about. Do not pronounce the FH. That's why I've highlighted the letter A for you there. So faoi aisean, about fashion. Or faoi, about. Lipéid is the word for brands, designer labels. Lipéid is a label or designer brand or designer label. Cothromaíocht. Cothromaíocht means fairness, equality, or evenness. So tá, there is, there are. Cothromaíocht, fairness. Measc ndaltaí, among the students. So tá cothromaíocht, measc ndaltaí. There is an equality among students. Chun níorne ará, to tell the truth, to be honest, or to be upfront. Any of those are fine. Actually, it's an infinitive, so I'm going to put it in red for you. Chun, in order, an níorne ará, to tell the truth. Tá mí níos compórdaí. Let's go for the níos compórdaí. More. And compórdaí, comfortable. Tá mé, I am. So tá mé, I am, níos, more, compórdaí, comfortable, le, with, médi féin, my own clothes. Same structure as English. If you feel like you can put this part in, do. It's in grey. You can leave it in, you can take it out. It's up to you. Let's go for the infinitive. Mo phearsantacht a chur in bhfuil. Mo phearsantacht a chur in bhfuil. It's the infinitive. So I have mo phearsantacht and I have a chur in bhfuil. Let's go for the a chur in bhfuil part first, which means to present. A chur in bhfuil, to present. And what are you able? A chur in bhfuil. You are able mo phearsantacht, my personality. So mo phearsantacht a chur in bhfuil, to present my personality. And then your first part is féidir liom. I am able to present my personality. Marda aipeanna just means, and again, don't pronounce the FH. That's why I have it highlighted, only from the letter E onwards for you in our Irish language. So marda aipeanna, as you see, marda aipeanna. Tá we've brístí, which obviously is a word for trousers. Now, I think trousers are kind of either brístí dúgarma as the word for navy, and lia is grey. So you can go for brístí dúgarma, navy trousers, or brístí lia, grey trousers. Skirta, obviously for a skirt. And I was trying to think of what types of, thinking back to kind of, I suppose, schools. I think ildacha, it might be the easiest one. Ildacha means multicoloured. It's the ones with like loads of different colours going on, and there's blues and there's greens and there's reds going all up and down. And so that's the kind of ildacha. So you kind of might have a multicoloured skirt, or you might have a dúgarm, a navy skirt, or it might be stríocha. Right, so stríocha, and that's the word for striped. So tá skirta ildacha stríocha, a kind of a multicoloured striped skirt. Everybody has a léine bhán. Now do me a favour, will you pop the letter V above that there? Léine bhán, a white shirt. So tá léine bhán agus ganzi. Ganzi jumper, ganzi gloss, a green jumper, ganzi gardam, a blue jumper, ganzi jarrig, ganzi dun. Just put your normal colours with it. A nice phrase that I have here, I've used this in an awful lot of your material anyway, so you probably might recognise it. Níl léamh ná scríobh orthu. And it means you cannot describe it. Níl léamh ná scríobh orthu. Now what it really means is you are not able to read about it. You can't put it into words. Níl tú able to scríobh orthu. You're not able to write about it. Again, it cannot be put into words. It is indescribable. You cannot describe it. Níl léamh ná scríobh. So if something's kind of really, really, really ugly, you might want to say níl léamh ná scríobh orthu. You can't describe it. It's so ugly. Or if it's even like really nice and really pretty, you could say, oh, Wexford. Níl léamh ná scríobh orthu. You just can't describe Wexford and how beautiful it is. Bíonn sé rothe sa saoradh. Now again, do not pronounce the THs. Remember, the TH in Irish does not exist. That's why we don't pronounce it in English. So rothe. So rothe, too hot. So bíonn she, it does be rothe, too hot, sa saoradh in the summer. And here's your FH again in Irish. Do not pronounce the FH, just take it from the U. Ro-ur, too cold, sa, in the yivru, winter. So ro-ur and ro-he, too hot and too cold. So again, pick out a couple of phrases, be able to describe your uniform. I think that's quite important as well. And then pick out a couple of the usual rules that you have. Can't smoke, can't have kind of monster drinks or energy drinks, and you have to be on time, and you can't use your phone in class. And pick out a couple of phrases. Again, I think 6 phrases, 6 points of information on this is perfect. It's definitely enough as well. So folks, as always, make sure you tick off that you have revised the material with you. Other than that, that is our school done and dusted. Well done on that. We are going to pop over now and we're going to keep going then with the material for your pastimes, talking about sports, music, TV shows that you like as well. So folks, I'll see you over there at the next video. Gur míle magadh, slán inis.